At the age of 24, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia is a chronic health condition which is distinguished by chronic pain and chronic fatigue. So my symptoms were pain, fatigue, I had memory issues, I had brain fog, I had nausea and dizziness, I wasn't able to walk without support, I spent 99% of my days in bed, I wasn't able to work, I wasn't able to do anything by myself, so I was fully dependent on help. Now the doctors told me that this was lifelong and I would have to accept it being this disabling for the rest of my life. And there were times where I gave up and accepted my fate, but through experimentation and through trial and through research, what I found out was that recovery was actually possible. I got my life back, and this is why I do these videos. So these video series that I do, I have a TikTok, Instagram and YouTube channel. It's important to me that I spread the word and share the knowledge. There are millions of people in England alone that have fibromyalgia, let alone the rest of the world. And for me, it's just insane that all these people could have been told the same thing, which is that there is no treatment or no way of managing or no way of getting better from fibromyalgia. But that doesn't explain what I went through. I was medically diagnosed with it and I made a full recovery, and I knew recovery was possible because I learned that other people had recovered too, and I wanted to kind of figure out what it was that other people had done, and there were three main things that worked for me. So each of the steps I have put into 2 parts on my YouTube channel, so I take you through step by step of exactly what I did to make a full recovery and get to where I am now. So I have my life back, I'm able to work, I can go out as normal, I'm 100% pain-free and free of all symptoms. And I hope that by sharing this knowledge it helps you either to feel better, to reduce your pain, or if it works for you, that's great. Like, you could make a full recovery as well. It's worth trying, and just even if these videos give you hope, I feel like I've done my job. So in this video, I want to wrap up everything I've been talking about in these last few videos and explain to you the whole cycle, what in my theory, like in my experience, like what fibromyalgia is caused by. So giving you a new perspective and a new way of looking at what this health condition is and how you can treat it and get to where I got to today. So let's take it all the way back to the beginning. The fibromyalgia is very much not a condition of the body, it's a condition of the brain. Once you realise that fibromyalgia is caused by an issue of the brain, you can target the help properly. So I want to talk to you today more about the nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is made up of the brain and is made up of the spinal cord. Now, your nervous system is almost like constantly scanning the environment. It's looking out for signals, whether they're signals of safety or danger, and it's constantly deciding how it's going to respond to that environment. Its sole purpose is to keep you safe and to keep your body in a way that's best suited for the environment that you're in. So what happens is, as you go throughout your life, it will be in 3 different states. So one state is safety. So this is when you feel like grounded, you feel good, you feel connected and present in your environment. The second state that it's usually in is called the mobile state. So you'll probably know this as your fight or flight response. What it does is it increases your level of adrenaline and cortisol, which is your stress response, to kind of respond to your environment. So that might be that it detects some sort of stress or danger, and it might not be like a big danger. It could be that you have a job interview coming up, but either way it raises your heart levels and to better prepare you. And then the other state that it's usually in is the immobile state. So this is a very rare state. This is when it deems a threat so big it doesn't know how to respond appropriately, so it shuts down the body's mechanisms. I'll tell you why that's important in a bit. Now, When people go through trauma or are exposed to chronic stress or big threatening events in their life, what happens is that the nervous system can become dysregulated. So it stops functioning healthily, and it's not able to do its job properly in the way that it's used to. Why is that important? Well, what that means is when it starts scanning the environment for what I mentioned earlier, whether something is safe, whether something responds, is picked up as safety or danger, once you have a dysregulated nervous system, it will pick up things as danger, no matter what the situation. It will always just be like an alarm constantly going off, danger, 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 danger. And it's like, and so it will make the body respond as if there is constantly danger in the environment. Now, this can go on for months, years, decades. Now, what does our body do? The last thing our body does in order to protect us from danger is to produce pain. You need to know that being in that heightened state of stress and having such a dysregulated nervous system causes the brain and the body to be working in overdrive as it's constantly responding to threats in the environment. Now, when it's in that heightened state of survival, the brain is capable of tripping up like any other organism, like any other organ in the body. It's capable of tripping up and making a mistake. It's such a complicated organ, and it's bound to happen. So what happens is that the brain is misinterpreting normal safe signals from the environment, thinking that they're danger, thinking that the danger is so great because it's already at such a high level of like stress response, that the last thing that it knows from a biological perspective to do in order to keep you safe is to produce pain or fatigue. And that is where chronic pain and chronic fatigue comes about. Where do the other symptoms come in, like brain fog and memory issues? Well, earlier I talked about 3 states of the nervous system. The last resort state that the nervous system can go into is what's something called the immobile state, where it causes the body to shut down, and it's almost like, right, we're going to be in a survival state. Like animals will do this when animals will sort of play dead, which is almost like a mimicry of something very similar to what will happen to our bodies. And that is what I can only explain as to what happened to me. At first glance, I understand this theory just might not make sense to people. For some people, it's going to really resonate with you, and you're going to watch this video and think, oh, that makes a lot of sense to me. Or some people might look at this video and go, no, like you'll have a few questions, or you'll think, did you even have fibromyalgia? Or did you, like, it's clearly incurable. Why are you telling us this? And I know I've got to start from somewhere. There are going to be people that don't believe me, but everything I did was based on scientific research. My passion has always been science. I have a degree in science. My first ever job was a teacher in science. But the people that kind of back up this theory is mainly, if you look at the research of someone called Dr. Alan Gordon. He has a book called The Way Out. If you haven't read it yet, it is life-changing. He also had fibromyalgia and loads of other chronic symptoms, and using the same techniques that I did, he recovered from all his pain and his symptoms. I would encourage you to kind of Google and look at other recovery stories as well. But yeah, if you have any questions, you know where to find me, and understand that it's not going to be medication that gets you get better. It's going to be the 3 steps that I talked about. So relearning, understanding, and relearning what fibromyalgia actually is and how it comes about. There is rewiring, which involves therapeutic techniques such as somatic tracking, which I did every day, to rewire your brain on a neural level, to reteach your brain to distinguish between safety and danger, and to stop producing pain when it shouldn't be. And then the last step is reprocessing. I talked mainly about that in my last video, using EMDR and CBT to reprocess life events and to help regulate the nervous system again. All those three things combined is what helped me get my life back, and I hope it works for you as well. There are so many more videos I'm going to make on fibromyalgia, and so stay tuned to learn more. Thank you for listening. Bye.